This conference will now be recorded.
In the last session, we were discuss about serialization. That means how to connect the data from database, that is model instance, and convert into Python type, and that Python data type into convert into JSON type. This is serialization. And deserialization I'm going to do today. So deserialization means we are sending your input data into JSON format. Your input data you are sending JSON format. JSON type is converting into Python native types, and Python type converting into complex data type. That is deserialization. So today we are showing how to store the data into database by accepting the data from user. So let me show you. For doing this, so we need to use lot of things. So what things we need to use, how to work with one by one, step by step, I'm going to do that. Now you can observe here. Yes. In previous lecture, we discussed like testing the API. We created test.py file. We execute the test.py file, and that test.py file is a Python application. It's communicating with API link here, and this API through we are communicating with Django app. Now we are going to work with deserialization mechanism today. So serializers in Django REST framework are responsible for converting objects into data types understandable by front-end frameworks. Serializers also provide deserialization, allowing parsed data to be converted back into complex type after first validating the incoming data. So validating data only, we need to pass the data into database. So first diagram you can observe. Last sessions what we did, we are collecting complex data type, that is model instances or database records or objects, converting into Python type by sending the data into view. That Python type is converting into JSON by using JSON parser method. Previously JSON parser is there. And now today what I'm trying to do, deserialization. This is next diagram. So we are giving input into JSON, input as JSON format. That JSON format is converting into Python type. Python type is converting into complex type. So to convert JSON type to Python type, we use what actually? JSON parser. This Python type converting into complex type by using JSON parser. So JSON render means what? Converting complex type to Python type to JSON type. JSON render will convert this. JSON parser means JSON data to complex type like this. You will get clarity now. Today JSON parser I am going to use. For this I am going to use the IO module, sir. The IO module means input and output module. It provides Python's main facility for dealing with various types of input and output, sir. Okay. So Python IO module allows us to manage the file related input and output operations. This IO module will allow us to manage the file related input and output actually. So one more thing, a stream is basically a sequence of data. We need to create our input data into stream object also. The stream is basically a sequence of data. Whatever the data we use in our programming, it flows through a stream only. Whatever the input we are using in our programming, it flows through stream object only, sir. That is called stream is basically sequence of data. A stream can be thought of as a channel connecting a processor or logic unit where data is processed according to the instructions, and input and output devices. So bytes IO is used for binary data. So we are using bytes IO option also here. So bytes IO can be used in place of file object. So you have a function that expects a file object to write into that. Then we can give in that in-memory buffer instead of file. Means whatever your incoming request is there, instead of storing a separate file object, we are going to store into buffer memory. So bytes IO can be useful when you need to pass data or from an API that expects to be given file object. Bytes IO implements read and write bytes data in the memory. So we are creating bytes IO object and then write some bytes data into it. So please note that instead of writing a string, you are using Unicode transformation format 8 encoding bytes with the bytes IO object only. So why these are all bytes IO is required means you will understand in the coding part. Actually we are converting that input data into bytes format into stream object. So now coming to the JSON parser. In the last lecture we discussed JSON renderer, but we are using JSON parser here. So it parses the incoming request. Whatever we are supplying the data, that is incoming request, it parses the incoming request JSON content into Python content type, that is dictionary. So what we are passing JSON type content into Python content type, it will convert, that is dictionary format. So JSON parser parses JSON request content. Request.data will be populated with a dictionary of data. So data parsing is the process of taking what data in one format and transforming it to another format. Okay, transforming it to another format. So let's try to show you how to create the record and how to insert the record here in today's lecture by using JSON parser step by step. So first we need to create what, sir? Model, sir. Just let me try to create a model, and after that we will go for step by step approach. Let me close this, not required. I'm trying to write some code here. You can see this. First let's create an application, better a new application, and we have two windows here. Let me close one window, and our application name is today REST app 3 python space manage.py start app REST app 3. Okay, so this is REST app 3. We have included REST app 3. We have to go and just change the settings. REST app 3, we can do it. REST app 3 like this. Let's close this now. And after that we can focus on REST app 3 models. But REST app 2 models already there. Let me collect this model. And for a change, I'm trying to change the model name. So in REST app 3 also models are there. So I need to copy and paste this model. So I'm trying to create what manager is the model name. Manager is model name, and now you can see name, address, mail, age, like this. This is available. So here, what we can say, name, address, mail, age, like this. Okay. So models dot integer field I'm taking. So after that, you can try to make migrations and migration. Make migrations. Migrate. So once migration done, now you can see we can go to database, but I'm not inserting, I'm just showing that. Right click on it and refresh it. Now in this, your model name is REST app 3 underscore manager, edit data. Now you can see edit data is available. There is no data, but later I have to insert from our user input. Next to what we need to do, we need to create a serializer. So serializer.py also available in this REST app 2 serializer.py. Right click on it Now you can see this we can copy from rest tab 2, we can paste into rest tab 3. So serializer.py is there, but here I want to change my serializer name is manager serializer, and it is normal serializer, not model serializer. Okay, yes. If we use model serializer, then only we can assign model into this, but I'm not using model serializer, normal serializer only I'm using. Serializer start, serializer only. Class, manager serializer, serializer start serializer, name, address, mail, age. Okay. So after serialization done, I need to, I want to create the data, no? So that's what in the serializer.py, so we need to use create method. That is a built-in method. So data is going to be coming to serializers.py. In serializers.py only we are validating and we are creating. How to create means there is a create method, observe here. So this is the built-in method. In serializers.py we are using create method. In create method, by default is having validated data is there here. Create method is having validated data is there clear. This validated data need to be validate and create. So I have to return manager model, but manager model is available here? No. So we need to use manager model. We need to make available manager model. How to make available manager model means manager model is available as tab 3 dot models, import manager model. Here we need to use return manager dot objects dot create manager dot objects dot create. So what data need to be created after validating? So validated data I'm using. This validated data need to be sent into dictionary format. So two stars are there. Two stars indicates keyword arguments. One star is nothing but key, another star nothing but args. So total we are sending what's our keyword arguments we are sending. So create self comma validated underscore data return manager dot objects dot create star validated data here. Okay, yeah. So this is must sir in the serializers.py. Even update purpose also we have to use update method, but later we'll discuss. Now today I'm going to show you only how to insert. In the next examples we'll go for all the CRUD operations step by step. So this is deserialization I'm doing now. Once you understand the deserialization, then how it will be update, delete, all the operations we'll do it later. So serializers.py is ready, models dot ready, table is empty right now, and we need to go for next major step is what's our views. Views is the main logic here. Let's go to views. In this views, first I'm trying to use from import IO model is required because I have to convert the data into bytes IO to stream object. Next from rest framework dot okay parsers import JSON parser is there. This JSON parser is responsible what taking JSON data and convert them into Python type. So that is JSON parser only can do that. Okay. So JSON data from stream object and converting into Python type. And if you want to display message to the user, that message also is coming from database server that need to be converted into JSON means. So JSON format means. So we have to use render method. Renders import JSON render. And from Django django.http import http response. So from django.views.decorators.csrf import csrf exemption. Why csrf exemption is required, sir? So generally, we know already when we work with Django applications, the moment when we use template for in the templates post method, then immediately we were added CSRF token in there. But here also we are connecting to the database via post request. So we are sending the data to the database. That's what here CSRF underscore exempt is required, sir. from Django dot views dot decorators dot csrf import csrf exempt. CSRF exempt is there. Okay, so this is the case. So next, let's try to write a view here. I want to create a view. So just create underscore manager I'm giving. This is, I want to create manager record. So that's what I'm using. My view name is create manager. And if request dot method, a request dot method equal to post, where we are passing the data. Generally in Django point of view, uh, to insert the data, we collect the data from form, no form, it's HTML template form. But here where we have to supply means you have to supply here data in test.py. That's what the data is coming from test.py. So user is sending the JSON data. So that's what test.py we need to collect the data from request body. Request body means from where you are sending request. Test.py that I'm going to be stored into JSON data equals to, yes, user is sending JSON data only. I'm collecting that JSON data into request body and stored into JSON data variable only. This JSON data need to be parsed into bytes IO. And after that, I need to create a stream object. Stream is a variable, just you can take any name. IO is a module, input and output. Bytes IO is a method. This method I'm passing JSON data. What user is passing JSON data that I am supplying to bytes IO by using IO module. This convert into what object? Stream object it is. Stream object. A stream is nothing but data is flowing through stream only. So that's what our JSON data is going to be flow through stream. This stream object finally I am converting into Python type. Who will convert that JSON data to Python type in the sense JSON parser is there. So just I'm using JSON parser. I am storing that into PyData, that is Python data. JSON parser is there, not JSON render. JSON parser is there. JSON parser dot what method is there, parse method is there, what data it is going to be take, stream data, stream object data it will collect and parse the data. Right now we are having this Python data. What user is sending JSON type, I'm converting this into Python type. Python type should be transferred to what? Serializer, because serializer only will responsible to collect the data and it will create that object into manager model. So that's what here I'm using, creating object for serializer. Serializer equals to, okay, what serializer? Manager serializer. But we don't have manager serializer. I have to collect this manager serializer again from the step 3 dot serializer, after that manager serializer. So we are communicating with manager serializer. What data you're passing to the manager serializer means py data. Okay, so data equals to py data I'm passing. So if serializer object dot is valid method, it will return true or false. If it is true, then simply serializer dot save method I'm using. After save method, I want to send that result into user. So this is dictionary format. I'm trying to dictionary key message, and value is what data inserted into database. Data inserted into database. But look at, sir, this result also need to be sent back to the user. So that's what I'm using, dictionary format is converting into what actually again to the user? JSON format. So who will convert this Python type to JSON type? JSON renderer. Python type to JSON type to Python type, who will convert? JSON parser. Simple logic. See, JSON type data is converting into Python type. Who is converting that? JSON parser. But here we have a Python type. This message I want to send into user into JSON format. So you are converting Python type to JSON type. Who will convert? Means JSON renderer method convert. So that's what I'm using here. JSON data equals to again JSON renderer method dot render that data we are passing what result. This will be display into end user output window whether it is successfully done or not. So here return HTTP response Okay, HTTP response JSON data, comma, content type equals to, okay, application slash JSON. So this is actually really in the REST API how the data is going to be transformed, sir. I said that in the last lectures, first few days you may feel bit complex because this is lengthy code. Don't worry, just listen and leave it. This lengthy code I will bring into 2 lines only at the end of the REST API classes. That is important because we are going to use in upcoming sessions all built-in classes, but here I'm not going to use any built-in libraries. Okay, so I want to show you clearly how the data is transforming step by step. So you have to understand these concepts clearly, so then only you will get clarity how the data is going to be transformed from one place to another place. That's what I'm including manual code. This manual code automatically convert into 2 lines or 3 lines finally. That is called all built-in libraries through we can achieve that same logic. But just why I'm telling this much of logic means you must and should understand what's going to happen internally. So this is what return HTTP response JSON data. This data inserted into database it will send. Okay, application slash JSON. Okay. If everything is serializer dot valid is okay. If not valid, then else block I'm taking. Then in else block, what I'm writing here again, this JSON data. Let me copy and paste here. Now here you can see not result here. What I'm trying to do, JSON.render serializer.errors. Error message I have to display. That's it. Okay, error message I have to display. So this is what actually, if everything is fine, then this will execute. If error is there, then serializer.error will come here. But your view is successfully done. But to this view, data is coming from where? Request body. What is request body? Test.py. So let's go for test.py. So write your test cases here, and in this test.py, so what I'm trying to run first, import request, import request, and import JSON. Why? Because we are passing Python type first, that should be converted to JSON type. Finally, JSON data type we are sending into the view only. There it will convert back into Python. So first import JSON I'm using. So what is the URL? To know the URL, we can start the server. So Python space manage.py run server. Okay, this link I have to copy this, and I'm getting what URL equals to single quotes. Now I'm trying to give URL name, create manager URL name. Later I'll set the URL with this name only. This link purpose I'm using. Now you are passing your input data into dictionary format. Observe here. But this data should be passed into what actually name equals to Durga. This is dictionary key and values. Address equals to what? Hyderabad. Next to what? Mail equals to mail colon Durga at gmail.com. And age is what actually 38. This is what data. This data is what? Dictionary. We are actually passing dictionary on Python type. So data equals to key value, key value, key value, all. We are passing dictionary data only. This dictionary data need to be dumped into what? JSON format. Okay. So that's what I'm importing. What's a JSON here? This dictionary should be dumped into JSON format. Let's try to do this one. So here JSON data equals to JSON dot dumps method dumps method. It will take what? Your data, Python type. I'm passing this a dumps method. It will convert into JSON data. Who will convert? JSON library convert. Finally, this data we are sending to the view. So how to do this means I'm trying to create request object, request dot post method. We are using post request. URL equals to what? URL capital and data we are supplying what data? JSON data. This is JSON data. This is only posting the data, sir. Okay, yeah. But while after posting the data, successful message will come or not from the view. Whenever we inserted the data, successful message, what data? Result data is coming. This result data is dictionary type converting into JSON type. This JSON type is going to be send response or not. This JSON type we have to receive in the test.py file. So that's what this is for response. Data equals to that r.json data I'm printing here only. These two lines are response lines, are not request lines. Only this is request line. So this is going to happen finally. So now I have to create the URLs. So let's try to create the URLs. URLs also there in the REST app to previous application. Let's copy this and the URLs I'm trying to paste it to REST app 3 URLs. So I'm pasting here and you can adjust the URLs clearly, sir. So REST app 3 and what's your URL name? So let's go for my URL name is create manager slash and views dot create manager is a view and these URLs need to be injected into where project level URLs and I'm trying to go for REST app 2 slash and I'm using path so include REST app 3 dot URLs. And now let me explain the step by step how it is, okay? So that you will get clarity. First, the moment see, you need not to click on this. You have to start the server here. Okay, let me start the server here in one window. In we need to execute what test.py because we have a testing. No? We are passing the data here from request body. So let's go to new terminal window. You have to test your API whether data is inserting or not. But look at this. You are in REST API project 630M only. We have to move towards REST app 3, your application 3. And here we need to run python space test.py. The moment when we run this python space test.py, look at this data will be stored here only. When we run this test.py, just you can see this. Oh, there is a problem actually. JSON decoder expect a column to line number 19 data equal to r.json. Okay, there is a problem. Let me line number 19 r.json print data r equal to request dot post url equals to url and the data equal to json data. What's there? Hmm. Give me 1 second. Some mistake we did in test.py data equal to json. It is not coming data no exception handling. Okay, sir, just a moment. Is there any URL problem? Rest app 3 dot urls here create manager view. Your link is working. Hmm. Let me check in the view, sir. If any problem occurs, then if single, okay, I understand that. What is the problem? Look at this CSRF exempt. I have not added in the decorator. This is the problem. The compulsory it is post request. That's what we need to add. But right now you can see in the table there is no data is available. Now I'm going to restart the server, sir, in the local window. Now after restart, then you can re-execute this here also. Now data is inserted into database. Whether it is inserted or not, let's refresh. This is ID number 1, durga@gmail.com. Whatever we are passing the data, it is going to be done. Okay. Now I'm going to explain, sir, here how it is going to be process your request. Okay. First, the moment when we go to run this test.py, immediately, immediately it will call the URL. So this URL through here it will call. First, we are supplying data into what type? Python dictionary type. Python dictionary type I'm passing into dumps method of JSON. It will convert it to JSON. I am posting my data to JSON data only via URL. This URL means what URL? Create manager URL. Immediately this request will go to project level URLs. In project level URLs, REST app 3 URLs is there. It will go to REST app 3 URLs. Create manager is there. Here it will call create manager view. And view is checking whether it is post request or not. Yes, post request only. In test.py we use post or not. Yes. So post request, and this request dot body means what? This is what data? Test.py data, what JSON data we are collecting and stored into JSON. This JSON data I'm passing into bytes IO with IO model. I'm trying to convert into stream. Stream object is going to be processed by using JSON parser. JSON parser is collecting the data, JSON data from stream object and parsing into Python type. This Python type we are supplying to serializer object. This serializer object will call here serializers.py, and it will collect the data with the dictionary format again, and it will check the validation. If the validation is done, manager.objects.create method is there, it will create it. Once it is created, then this message will be sent. This message also what type? Dictionary type. Do you want to convert this dictionary type result into JSON format? Who is there? JSON render is there. This JSON data only final response I'm getting. This is JSON data, that is message is coming in the data inserted into database result only. This result where it will display means in the test.py file. So r.json, that data is coming result data we are printing. This is response object. Okay. So this is going to be takes place. If any errors occur, for example, then what will happen, sir? Here, this is going to be execute if any errors occurs. Else block. Without else also we can write, or else also you can write this error serializer dot errors. Let make errors something like this. Okay, whether it is there or not. Okay. So how do we make errors? Means simple logic I'm trying to take. So here in the models, max length is email field 20 is there. I want to make 30 email. So let's try to run this once again, how the error is coming like this. Okay, so just Durga software, I'm trying to insert one more record. 20 max length is there. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14. So I'm trying to pass one more record here. Yes, Mohan, address is okay, age like this. But look at this, the mail is not length, not correct length. So wanted I'm giving how to raise the JSON errors. So run the server, and now you can see go to local window and test.py, run it. Now you can see we got the JSON error. Look at this, errors are coming or not. Mail, ensure this field has no more than 20 characters or not. So it's not going to be inserted. Refresh it, it's not going to be inserted. This error is coming from where? Here, JSON dot renderer serializer dot errors only. If anything wrong, errors will display. That to JSON format. If everything is correct, so let's go for test.py. I'm making correct only here. So just I'm taking Mohan. So now this time we can see when we run this, so data is inserted into database and it's going to be refresh. It is working fine. Okay, so this is about what? Inserting the data into database by using deserialization. Deserialization means what? Simple. I said that collecting the data, JSON data from user input, that JSON data need to be processed with Python type. Python type convert into complex type. This is called JSON, deserialization concept. In the last lecture, we did serialization, means collecting the complex type, that is object data like employee objects or manager objects, database records, and convert them into JSON type, Python type to JSON type. Finally, we are displaying to the user. So that is serialization. So this is somewhat lengthy code, but it's very simple actually. But for the first time, if you are looking this code, it will, you may get confused, but nothing is there in this. But this code I'm going to reduce in upcoming sessions slowly, step by step. Finally, I am making for 2 lines. That is only real API, how it will work in real time, because the Django REST framework people will provide built-in libraries. That libraries and classes through we can make very simplification of this code only. But slowly it will reduce, not at a time it will reduce directly. Okay. Yeah. So that's all for today. So what we are doing, and the next session will be on Tuesday, sir. Monday and tomorrow I'm not available, so you will get a new link for Tuesday session. So there is no session on Monday. Again, we'll see on Tuesday morning. You can receive a new link for this. So this link will be expired by today night only. So new link will be get by for Tuesday class. You can join on Tuesday.